First of all, I want to introduce myself. So my name's Sarah, and I live in Florida, and I go to the University of Florida. And in this video, I will be talking about mental health issues, specifically eating disorders. So if you are not comfortable watching this, completely get it. I was in your position 2 years ago, so I get it. I'm just gonna kind of do a brief summary of my story in regards to struggling with eating and mental health issues. I don't have a script. I'm just going based off of my thoughts, and I'm just letting my mouth talk. So I started struggling with eating about 3 years ago in the middle of COVID. I didn't recognize that it was an ED until I would eat smaller breakfasts, smaller lunches, and smaller dinners, an egg with fruit. That's it for breakfast. And in my head, it was just okay, I'm trying to lose this amount of weight. It wasn't really in an unhealthy way at the beginning, and then it obviously started to turn unhealthy because I would do hour-long HIIT workouts outside. But when I started doing those, I would fast. So I would do them around 11, 12, and I wouldn't have eaten before that, so I was just doing all these workouts on an empty stomach. And there are days that I just remember crying and crying and crying from eating the smallest things. Ignore my dogs, I'm so sorry. And then I saw a therapist for it, and each week, well, not for it specifically, but just for anxiety and mental health in general. And we started to talk about eating more and more. And she did her best to help, but I feel with an eating disorder, it's up to the person who's struggling to really figure out that they want to do recovery and that they want to follow through with it. And so it took me 3 years to I would say 2 years to figure out that I finally wanted to choose recovery. However, the past year, I've been saying I'm in recovery, but it's just been so on and off. And I know that recovery isn't linear, but I wasn't really pushing myself, and I wouldn't consider it full recovery, because I would still restrict myself, work out 6 times a week, sometimes 7, and I'm a runner, and I love running, and I love weightlifting. But to be able to do those things, you have to fuel yourself. So I'd be going out on 6-mile runs with a Rice Krispie in my stomach beforehand, with restricting the day before. It just wasn't good, and it actually led to a bunch of injuries. But some of the main things that I still struggle with is going out, because I grew up and my family kind of never went out to eat in my childhood, so it's kind of unfamiliar territory for me. So I used to go out every Sunday and have a cheat day, and would go to Zaxby's, would go to a grill and just get whatever I want. But if I had to do it again Thursday, I would be scared shitless. I wouldn't want to do it. And so that's how I knew I wasn't as recovered as what I thought I was, in a way. And it's still a long journey, and this is not me to be this vulnerable on camera. What actually caused me, made me convince myself to do this is I posted a TikTok, and I love that people can connect with me and not feel alone, but it scared me how many people actually struggle with it, and it's still taboo. Like, especially with mental health counselors and advisors, like, it's just, they make it seem like people struggling with eating are doing it for attention, which just isn't the case. But in general, I suffered with anorexia at the beginning, and I would overwork myself without not fueling myself. And then about a year ago, it developed into a binge eating disorder. So I would restrict myself during the day, and then like at night specifically, or like I would wake up in the middle of the night to go pee, and I would be so hungry, and like it was almost like I was sleep eating, and my go-to binge eating food was peanut butter, and I would just down a whole carton of peanut butter, and the same process would repeat the next day. And then it migrated to graham crackers being my binge food. And I told my mom, I was like, can you like hide the peanut butter? But then I realized, I was like, you can't run away from it. Like, you just have to face it. So I did have a binge a few days ago, which I haven't had one in like 5 to 6 months. So it was a little bit scary and felt like I was taking a few steps back. But I know it's just all part of the process. Like, recovery is not linear in any sense. But as of right now, I am still really struggling with food. But about like last week, I completely dedicated myself into choosing recovery. And it's scary. It's really scary, and like I'm scared for this because the idea of gaining weight, I don't know. It's just a whole scary process. But one of the things I live by is like in recovery, all things scream when they're dying. And the louder the voices are, the closer you're getting to recovery. So that's what I've just been living by. I want to make my channel like oriented around mental health and oriented around eating disorder recovery, whether that's like what I eat in a day is questions being asked that I can try and answer, all of that. But ultimately, like, I just want to provide support with like people around me, because it's so common and it's so upsetting, and it feels like the society has failed us. And I just want to be like there for someone who is struggling. Like, I just feel like that's my purpose, is to just help. Like, I went through all of this just so I could help others. And that's always been the type of person I am. Like, I just want to help everyone. And that's what my like intentions for like even creating this video is for. Like, you're not alone. I promise you are not alone. I am here. And recovery will be worth it. Like, I just want my smile back. I want my life experiences back. I'm just ready. So this is also holding me accountable in some ways, to just like keep it up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was really boring, and I'm sorry, but this is me. So if you have any ideas for next videos, definitely comment below. I know it's hard. I've cried so many times. But I don't want to be in that position anymore. Like, I don't want to live 99% of my life in fear just to be 1% skinnier. Like, I'll never be skinny enough, I know that. So, if you choose recovery, I hope my channel helps you. Even if you like are still struggling and don't know of recovery, like you're not on that mindset right now, it's okay, I'm still here.